Hi, Mihir. Welcome
Well,
to AC Plus Tech Talk. So these talks are organized by AC Plus Tech. AC Plus Tech is the platform where we keep track of the latest and greatest technologies in the AC space. So when I first talked to you and learned about Diverge, I was so excited because I thought, if AC Plus Tech, like the platform, was a physical building, it would be just like Diverge, like an innovation center. So I'm very excited to have you with us today, and we would love to learn more and see what you guys are building at Hensel Phelps.
absolutely, Ignas. Thanks for having me. And we recently opened our Diverge Innovation Center. So really exciting times and looking forward to share more with you.
Yes, yeah. I saw one post that you had an official opening for the center, right? Where
That's right.
okay, great.
So yeah,
Yeah,
this
please.
was just a month ago. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So a month ago you
Mhm.
officially opened it.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Yeah, please tell us more about like the thoughts behind building a very exciting innovation center like Diverge. So how it's helping all the innovation that is happening within your firm, what you're doing, what's the vision, and all those great things you're working on.
Absolutely. No, 100%. So just for those who don't know much about Hensel Phelps, so Hensel Phelps, we are a general contractor. We are about a $10 billion company, one of the largest or the largest aviation contractor, also one of the largest tech contractors. We do a lot of federal projects. Founded in 1937, we are across 10 different regions, all the way from Pacific in Hawaii to Southeast in Florida. And we average about 150 to 200 active projects every year. And in the past, what used to happen is innovation was kind of outsourced to the job sites. It was up to the job sites to find the right technologies, if they had the right resources, if they had the right time, the commitment. And we thought there must be a better way. Let's have a centralized hub where we can help the job sites innovate and test out the right technologies so we can recommend the right technologies to them. So the Innovation Center, think of it like a safe space. This is a space where job sites come to us with some pain point, a challenge, and they rely on us, our resources, our expertise to go out in the market, find the right tools, technologies, or processes, really test it out, because some of these things take time. I mean, it might take a few months. We don't want to hold up our field engineers, office engineers with their RFIs and submittals. So what we do is they give us their challenge, their pain points. We really test it out, and then we go and start deploying and scaling it across our job sites. So that was kind of the goal of the Innovation Center, is to collaborate with partners, technology partners, collaborate with academia, collaborate with industry partners, and then take all the best solutions to our job sites.
Wonderful. So, are these technologies and startups that you are already working with who come to Diverge, or new solutions and technologies that you are evaluating, or both?
It'll be both. A lot of things we do, I mean, most of the things we do comes from the job sites. For example, we had recently a high rate of injury, of wrist injuries on the job sites. So we said, okay, how do we alleviate this? So what we did was, one of the uh, main issues of or pain points was when you tie rebar. It's a lot of back-breaking work. You have to bend down, you have to tie hundreds of rebars a day. So we thought, okay, let's find the right solution for them. So we went out to the market. We looked at all the solutions. We looked at robotics. There's a rebar tying robot company that we saw. And then we built a test bed to test these robotics out. We invited those job sites to come and see live demonstrations and see if it really helps solve their challenge. And then we went and deployed it on the job site. We did some pilots. So it really is both ways. Some of the, I mean, a lot of these challenges do come from the job sites, the pain points, and some of them we also, future forward, looking at things like humanoid robots, for example. Uh, the future belongs to robotics and automation, and understanding kind of where, what's the trajectory of that, what do we need to do to be prepared for that future. So it's a mix of both.
Got it. And then this, so for the wrist injuries, this technology that you built, is it something that you're going to use internally, or is it something that you would eventually be willing to share with other companies facing the same
Yeah,
issues?
I do have a slide I'd love to share.
Yeah.
How are we testing that? So when it comes to the rebarting robotics, let me go to the robotics slide. Um, so right here. So the goal was to evaluate different technologies. So what we did was we set up a kind of a demonstration area. And as you know, the problem we're trying to solve, rebar time, it's a repetitive, labor-intensive, physically demanding job. And we did a scientific evaluation. So we tested a robot called Tomorrow. It's a rebar robot from Japan in one lane. Then in the other lane, we tested rebar time guns. You may have seen now we have guns, for example, from a company called Max that are used to die rebar. It still requires a human to use these guns. And on the third lane, we had your traditional process where we had humans actually tying the rebar. And then what we did was we did a side-by-side comparison. We put a timer, and then we saw over kind of this full set of rebar how long it takes. Now, what we found out that maybe for a few minutes or even a couple of hours, a robot and a human can be equivalent. But when it comes to a full day or even days of work, a robot is a much safer and better alternative. So this is kind of the testing that we do here. And then what we do is once we build this test bed, we invited our project teams. So we invited our tech partners as well. So to your point, how do we iterate? We invite our tech partners. So they came all the way from Japan to demonstrate their robot. And our job is to really give them the feedback so they can quickly iterate on their products. So with this machine, has been with us for a couple of months now. It started with version 1, which was kind of a bit clunky, but we gave them a ton of feedback. Now they're up to version 3, which is much faster, much smoother. It also automatically goes to a different set of rebars. And then we take this machine and we go to the job site. So just kind of playing this video. As you can see, we took this rebarting robot to one of our local job sites, testing it out, getting feedback from the superintendents, the field engineers, and again, taking all this feedback, going back to the partners so they can, again, keep iterating their product.
This is very exciting. So you basically have this space now. This is inside Diverge that you are testing all these technologies. And in the past, they would come to your office. So other companies that don't have a space like Diverge, they would go to companies. But now all this innovation is very centralized. So there's a physical space for it. So now for all the technology companies, so AC+Tech is a platform where technology companies sign up every day. So we have this community of over 500 startups and solutions. So if they want to be involved, so what is the process like? So do they apply, or tell us about the process if a technology company like a robotic company, AI company, they want to get involved with Diverge?
Yeah, there's a couple of ways. One way is directly reaching out to us. They can reach out to us and explain their platform. And once we understand what the solution is, we log it into our database. So we have a database called Diverge Connect, where we have about between 500 to 1,000 different solutions, and we put them into different categories. Now, let's say tomorrow a job site reaches out to us and says, hey, Diverge, we are looking for such and such solution, or we have such and such problem. Do you have a solution for that? They can directly log on to Diverge Connect. They can filter by categories. We have AI where they can search. For example, I have issues with layout. Do you have a solution for that? And it will surface all the companies that we have reached out to. For example, you have Dusty Robotics, you have the HP SitePrint, Rugged Robotics. And then inside, once they click on that card, they can see where these solutions are being used across our enterprise. They can see the pros and cons, they can see the best practices. And that is really our role. So when it comes to, for example, layout robotics, we held an event where we invited all of the competitors to come to the Innovation Center. We gave them the same print to print, and they printed side by side. And then we created reports. We once they had printed, we did laser scans to really look at the accuracy, compare it to the BIM model, uh, compare the ink resolution, the time. So creating kind of a detailed, thorough analysis, and then recommending the right solutions to our job sites. So maybe I have another slide on that. Let me see for layout robotics. So this is where we had invited all of these partners to the Innovation Center. I'm going to play this quick video that will have a couple of snippets of that. So this is we had kind of a innovation day is the event that we call where it's different focus. Some are field focused, some are safety focused, some are VDC focused. So for this event, we had invited a couple of different companies. For example, as you can see, we had HP SitePrint, Rugged and Dusty Robotics. We also had Lucid Bots. They're a drone company which sprays water and concrete cure to clean window facades and cure concrete. So through these demonstrations, then we capture the data. We invite the right project teams, whether it's superintendents or project managers, field engineers. We get their feedback. And I'm going to see if I can jump to. So there should be a couple of clips where you see the people using AR/VR glasses to look at. There you go. So what we had here is we printed an operating room on the floor, and then we had people try on AR glasses and actually walk the space. So through all these demonstrations, sometimes we reach out to partners reach out to us, but when the right opportunity arises, that's when we invite the partners to the Innovation Center, we test their products, and that's when we go back to the job sites.
Yeah, this is amazing. I love how, so this is my personal passion and also what we do at AEC Plus, like creating this connection between all these great tools, technologies, and research and industry. So now you have this R&D center within the industry. So this is just like the best sort of connection that you can have. So, and then with the database, so if we call Diverge an R&D center, research center, so database, do you spend time testing and working with these tools in advance? So once someone needs something, then you have all the findings and challenges and all the learnings from certain tools. So how does that part work?
Yeah, that's a great question. It really depends on what our needs are. So safety is always the number one priority. So if any solution is safety based, we always invite them, we test them out, and we have them ready if a job site, if it's the right fit for a job site. There are other technologies, for example, humanoid robots. Now, humanoid robots aren't there on the job site yet, but we want to see when they would come. And with the fast pace of humanoid robots, you see a lot of robots overseas that are, I'd say, getting better each day and getting more capable than even the human body. So it depends. It depends on the initiatives, what the priorities for that year. That's the partners that we focus on. We invite them to the Innovation Center, and then we log them into the database. And some others might be 5 or 7 years in the future. So it depends on that opportunity.
Yeah. So, and what are the main challenges that now you have incorporating these technologies into the job site? I mean, like thinking about AEC, I know that now it's such an exciting time for AEC, like more adoption happening, definitely. But so AEC being the second digitized industry in the world of construction. So now for Diverge and for you, like doing all this research, what is the like biggest challenge?
I think the main challenge is the expectations. And that's what we really try to solve is companies, I mean, our projects, they hear about some solution, even the spot, the Boston Dynamics dog, they have, I mean, we've been testing it for almost 7 years now. And at first we thought, oh, it's a perfect solution. You can just drop on the job site, you can press go, and it'll go and scan all the job site completely autonomously. And that's not really the case. You really need a lot of preparation. You need planning, you need the right training to your people. And that's what we try to do. So we bring them to the Innovation Center. We really create these best practices and really a strategy and a game plan for how we'll go and deploy these solutions on the job site. So, for example, let me see if I have on this slide.
Sure.
So I'm going to show you what kind of testing we did for the Boston Dynamics Spot Robot. And what's really great about our company is having so many job sites spread across different regions gives us a really good test bed to test it across different weather conditions, different users. So this is a video of the Boston Dynamics Spot Robot, and we're testing how well does it work on, let's say, an active job site where it has, for example, rebar. So as you can see, it is mounted with a FARO scanner. On the top left, you can see some of the SLAM algorithms it's running. And really, after all of this testing, we determine, okay, how well does it work and is it ready for job site deployment yet? So, and I also think it takes a dedicated team to really go and help onboard solutions. For example, with layout robotics, I mean, the first year I was just taking these robots across job sites, giving them demonstrations, training the people how to use it. And within the last, I'd say 1.5 years, it has gained a lot of traction. In the last 2 years, we've printed almost 4 million square feet with these layout robots. So one of the challenge, to your point, is the expectations, having the right expectations, and the second is having a dedicated team who can help these people onboard the solutions.
Yeah, definitely. Makes a lot of sense. How about staff? How about people working on the job site? Are they open? Do they get excited? Or, I mean, I'm sure you have all sorts of attitude, but in general, do you think in the last, like, have you found that in last recent years, people are more open to testing these new tools, or is there more optimism?
I think so, especially with the younger generation. I mean, they've grown up with iPads and tablets, and robotics is becoming commonplace. They are especially very interested in using these tools. At first, they might be a bit hesitant when a robot comes to a site, especially if it looks like a humanoid. They think, oh, it's sentient, it's going to, take over our jobs. But really, it's an aid. And that's what we try to really reiterate on: is robots are not here to take your jobs; they're here to help you. They're basically smart tools. I mean, sometimes people get deceived by the form factor, and really try to tell them it's just because it looks like a human doesn't really mean it thinks and acts like a human. Um, so, kind of helping people understand what these solutions are, and for a few days they might be, they might gather around the robot, really take pictures. They're so interested, but after a few days they just look at it as just another tool. Same thing happened with Hilti JBot or the SitePrint or other robots. And we've also seen how people react to robotics. For example, we first bought the Spot robot, Boston Dynamics robot, to the job site. Some people were a bit kind of scared. Oh, it's a creepy robot. But then we put eyes on the robot and we gave it a cute name. And then people were treating it like a dog. So you have to understand the human kind of psyche and the emotions and work around that as well.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, that's very interesting. And then as far as, so Hensel Phelps being this huge company, so as far as the learnings and the different experiences you have with this technology, so does Diverge Connect or Diverge have a system to document all this learning? So how do you keep track of all these things along all the firms and all the groups that are working with these solutions?
Absolutely. So what we do is whenever a robotic technology is deployed on the job site, we'll go to the job site, we'll collect feedback before they use the solution, during the use of the solution, after the use. We'll get feedback from the field engineers who are actually deploying the solution. We'll get feedback from VDC teams who help support these solutions. as well as project superintendents and safety managers. And we'll compile this feedback from every project that the technology is being used on. And that's our job, is to compile this feedback, document it, and whenever a new project wants to deploy a solution, we can give them the best practices and the learnings from our other job sites. And I think that was missing previously. Before Diverge, there were a lot of solutions being tested across all the job sites, but a project in Florida had no idea what technology was tested, say in Hawaii, and vice versa. So I think really creating that knowledge hub, and when we create these reports, we upload it to Diverge Connect. So whenever a solution, job site wants to try out a solution, they go Diverge Connect, they search in the name of the solution, they look at what the different job sites, what are the different job sites using that solution, what is their feedback, what are the pros and cons, what are the best practices, what is the cost model. We also have an in-depth evaluation process that we share with the job sites. For example, and this is especially true because we do a lot of federal work. We have a 5-stage evaluation process. You can share a slide on that as well. We call it different gates. So coming to the evaluation process. So the first is the business case. This is when a job site submits the request to use the new solution. When it comes to us, they really kind of put in the answers for why do they want to use this solution, how many people are going to use it. Then it goes to gate 2. Gate 2 is where it comes to Diverge. We look at financial stability. Is the tech partner going to survive for the next 5 years? Some of our job sites run a long time, so we want to ensure, we'll want to look at the track record of the company management. We want to look at how much they raised. We want to make sure they're financially stable. After that, it goes to gate 3, which is the AI review. This is where our AI team looks at what models they're using, what data is being collected, where the data is stored, what data are they using to train their AI models. And once this goes past the AI review, it goes to cybersecurity. This is where we look at what kind of maybe chips they're using, where are the chips sourced from, are there any backdoors, are they SOC 2 compliant, GDPR compliant. And then once it goes through gate 4, then it goes to gate 5, which is the legal review. This is where we look at the terms and conditions and make sure our job sites are fully safe to use the solution. So after a solution passes through all these 5 gates, that's when we give a go-ahead to our job sites to use the solution, and that's when we know we're reducing our risk.
Very interesting. It's such a comprehensive process and all these steps. So you do it for basically not all the solutions in your database, but the ones that you are going to test on the job site, right?
Exactly. The ones that are going to pilot, and really the 5-step process is initiated by the job sites. If they want to test out a solution, they want to pilot a solution, that's when they submit the request, and then it starts going through all the gates.
Got it. So can you tell us a little bit more about the AI review part? Actually, one of my questions was about, like, everyone is asking about AI. So if you've had any success with any of these AI technologies at Diverge or in the job site. So this AI review is separate from like AI power tools that you are testing and you're reviewing.
Yes, that's correct. So these days there is AI embedded in everything, and tomorrow it's going to be pretty much everything will have AI. So what we really want to understand is, for AI, data is like, data is everything. If you have the right data, you can train your AI tools. One of the companies that went through this review process was a company called Track 3D. So Track 3D is a company that automates or your progress tracking. So they have a reality capture solution where you go around your job site with 360 cameras. And I'm going to play this video. You'll kind of see what the camera captures. So once you capture your job site, it passes it through an AI segmentation model where it understands, okay, what is your ductwork, what is the floor, what's the pipe, what are the different framing elements. And once you have all this data, it gives you automated progress reports. So our field engineers walk the job site, let's say twice or thrice a week, and then the superintendents get this progress report. So they can then know, okay, what has been my progress on drywall and framing? Framing, okay, level 1, sector A, framing has been 471 feet of premium has been installed. You can also get percentages. And this really helps you understand where you need to allocate your resources if you're lagging in a particular area. So all these tools are now using AI to get this data automatically. And that's where the AI review comes in, is understanding what data is collected, where this data is stored. Is it stored in US servers? Is it stored abroad? Uh, and really how this data is used to train your AI models. Is it being anonymized before training it? So all that goes into the AI review.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you so much, Mihir, for sharing all this great, information. I think Diverge is now with the increase of tech adoption in the AEC and in construction, so Diverge is such a great model for, larger firms, but even small and medium-sized firms. They can have, maybe they don't have the physical space, but they can have the same model in terms of like the R&D part of it and having the database and just basically having a system for getting to know all these great tools and solutions in advance. But then once the need arises, so you can connect the dots. And then one of my questions for you was about ROI. So once the technology is adopted and is being piloted and is being adopted and used on the job site, so how do you follow up? So how do you measure the ROI? I'm sure you have a process for that as well, right?
Absolutely. And a lot of times, this is where we also partner with universities. For example, we have partnership with local universities, universities like ASU, which is local to Phoenix, with Virginia Tech, Colorado State. So just to kind of show you, this is where we had a university visit our innovation center. We kind of give them a tour of the center. This is where we had ASU students come in and we showed them tomorrow and how it works. Even for Track 3D, what we did is we partnered with Fresno State. We collected all of the data, we shared it with them, and they helped us create a case study measuring the ROI. And because a lot of times, not everything is tangible. For example, with a lot of these robotics, you're improving the quality of life of people. You're improving safety. How do you put those in numbers? It's hard to put in quantitative numbers. But this is where our partnership with the universities also comes in. And this is a student quote. We're really preparing our students to help them understand what the future looks like, because when they graduate, they can understand what to expect, and it's not a surprise to them. So really, the student says the experience, the tour really gave us a clear understanding of Hensel Phelps' role in construction and how Diverge supports that mission by pushing the boundaries of what's possible through technology. And overall, visiting the Innovation Center left me motivated and optimistic about the future of the industry. And while the technology can be intimidating at first, it's exciting to think this is just the beginning of what's to come. So to that point, just partnering with universities and getting all of the data and working with them to capture that ROI.
Amazing. This is very inspiring. Thank you so much, Mihir. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing all this great, information and your experience. And just as the last question, what would be success for Diverge in, like, let's say 3 to 5 years from now?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think if we can make our job sites safer, more productive, and we have a vision 2037, where that's when we are going to reach 100 years of the company. And there's a very few companies that actually are able to reach 100 years and beyond. So if we can make an impact where we are able to really go to that 2037 goal and make our job sites safer, more efficient, more productive, make our people happier, have them go home early and safe, I think that'll be our goal.
Wonderful. Amazing. Thanks again for all the insights, Mihir. And thanks to our audience for being with us today. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks so much.